Hey friends and fellow crafters, welcome to the craft. I got a really cool one for you today. It's something I've been working on. I'm trying to find the perfect tree for my table. And I have discovered it. I've found the perfect tree. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my table. I'm going to show you the tree first and talk about why I really like this version of the tree, okay? And then after that, I'll show you the craft. So let's set the table and I'll show you why I love this tree. So here it is, crafters, the tree. This is my favorite tree, and I'm going to tell you why right now. Okay, for one, it has a lot of great detail on it, which is easy to do and cheap. It has a weighted base, which keeps it from knocking over, and it has a nice canopy without blocking play. Okay, you may have noticed it's a little sparse. It's not totally filled in, and that's on purpose because I want to give the illusion of a canopy without actually blocking play. If you set up several of these, it really looks like a nice canopy, and you can still move and see your miniatures. And that's one big problem I have with trees. It's essentially like an umbrella, right? It's got a thin, a base. It's got a thin stick up the middle, and then it's big covering over the table, and you can't really see what's underneath. You end up hitting it and knocking it over and that kind of thing. So I like this with the sparse foliage. Also, one other thing about the foliage, this is plastic foliage, and this will not come off, all right? I kind of hate that like lichen foliage and that kind of stuff, the little, or the styrofoam or whatever you put on there, because it gets everywhere. It will come off. Eventually, on your game table or in your boxes, it will come off or break off or whatever. This is good to go. This will never come off unless you rip it off. So you can store it, safely without having to worry about all the foliage falling off your trees and getting all over your table. So there you go. Those are the reasons I love this tree. And what we're going to do is a lot of these techniques I've shown before, but we're going to put them all together into this tree package. So if you're intrigued and interested, watch the rest of the video and I'll show you how to make these cool trees that I love so much. Mwah! All right, friends, here we have our table. I got a barbecue skewer and I have my paper towel. And I'm going to start the body of the tree here. I'm going to use some just water spray here, spray it down, put some white glue on it, roll it up like a cigar, then do it again with another paper towel, more white glue, roll it up, and kind of get in the trunk of the tree, right? So I'm going to put some toilet paper around the tree, kind of bend it up first, and then put some toilet paper around it. Wet it down a little more, and then twist it. That'll give a nice texture on the tree trunk. I'm going to soak it with 50% glue, 50% water. Let it soak in. And now I'm going to kind of bend it. I'm actually going to snap the barbecue skewer to get an interesting shape. Okay. Add a little more glue on there. And kind of twist it up a little bit. Squeeze it, twist it up to get a nice shape you like. And I'll let that dry. Okay, and I got another paper towel here, and I'm going to wet it down. And this is going to be the base. I'm going to fold it over again. And I'm going to use some of my construction sand, do a pile in the center, put some glue on it, and some watered down white glue on it. And then kind of twist it up like a little packet, right? And we'll let that dry. So now I've got some pointed sticks that I'm going to use. I just got these at the craft store. I got a carving knife and some scissors. So I'm going to cut the top there off. I'm going to jab into the trunk of the tree itself and start attaching these pointed skewers or pointed sticks. And just put them in, different angles and areas. I'm trying to go for like tree branches, right? So that's what I'm doing with this. Just kind of break them up. You want to break them, but you don't want to break them in half, okay? But you want to get, not just a straight shape. You want the twisting, turning branch. Do another one here. You can shorten them up by cutting them off. Careful with the tool, you don't want to hurt yourself. Hot glue that in. All right, cool. All right, I'm going to add one more. So just keep adding them till you're satisfied. Another branch there. All right. I'm kind of reinforcing those areas where I cracked the stick. So now what I've done is I've just gone back over the stick with the hot glue and just kind of filled it in a bit to make it a branch. So it'll make it extra, super extra sturdy, right? And it'll give it the tree branch texture, okay? All right, sweet. There you go. Now I've got some thin cardboard. This is going to be my base. I got my base of my tree. I'll just put it down there, mark around it, a little bit of extra area there. Just cut that out. And I got my base. And the tree will go on top of that base. I'll cut that extra flash off there. Put some hot glue, glue it on the base, and then glue that to the base. Fill that base in to make it look like ground. Okay. So I'm just going for a kind of just a dirt ground, and then I'll glue the tree trunk on top of the base. And so now we've got a nice weight on the base, right? So awesome. I'll just blend that back up. All right, cool. Now I'm going to use TP, and I'm going to do the roots on this, on the bottom of the tree, okay? On the base of the tree. Spray that with some water, roll it up, put some white glue on there, start breaking it up, snapping it off, rolling, pinching it at the end to make it look like roots. All right, I'll just go around and put them down. Now you don't want to make them go straight down, you want to curve them a bit, make them look natural. All right, cool, nice. All right, now I'm going to use a little more toilet paper, a few sheets of toilet paper, wrap it around the whole base there, and this will help me blend the roots into the rest of the tree. So I'll just add some water and then kind of pinch that in. Now, one problem people have with the toilet paper is, you know, it doesn't work very well. So you want to put the toilet paper on first and then spray it with water, and it'll work very well for you. If you get it wet enough, it'll work very well. All right, add some white glue on there. Cool, we'll let that dry up. Nice. Now that that's dried, I'm going to add some construction sand to the base, and this is just going to be like a dirt ground. So just put some white glue on the base there. I'll just put it in a plastic tray to make a mess, and put my construction sand over that. And we'll let it dry. Cool. All right, all dried up, and we're good to go. So now what I'm going to do is a little extra detail. I'm going to do some kind of knots on the tree. Just twist a little bit of glue on the tree and then just twist around in a circle, and you'll get some nice knots that are really cool when we paint this. All right, now I've got some pencil shavings I'm going to use, and I'm going to just soak these with 50% water, 50% glue, mix up this slushy, slurry mix we got going on here. That's fun to say, slushy, slurry. And I get it all mixed up. Yep. And now we're going to start putting some on. We're going to put a little bit on the base. Be some nice moss going on. And I really like this mix because unlike regular flocking, it won't come off, right? I'll put some moss on the tree. Ancient tree in an ancient forest. Add some nice moss. There we go. Cool. Now I've sprayed it flat black after the pencil shavings dried. It's all ready to go. So I'm going to paint it with this dark burnt umber. Paint the whole tree there. That'll be our nice base coat. All right, cool. Now I'm going to use a nutmeg brown, a Mississippi mud, and a tan. And these will be the three colors I'm going to kind of shade the tree with, right? So first I'll start with a nutmeg brown and kind of dry brush this on the tree, and that detail will start popping out. But these three shades will really give a nice variation. I'll do the Mississippi mud on top of that. And last but not least, I'll do the tan. That'll be like the last highlight. So really nice, really pulling that detail out from the tree. Really cool. Neat. All right, sweet. Look at that, wow. Okay, now I'm going to use a dark brown, and I'm going to paint this moss. So it's kind of wet, and I want it to cover all the soak into the moss there. The simulated moss. All right, cool. Fill that in. Doesn't look like much now, but wait till we get the highlight. So here's the highlight. It's a lighter green, a leafy green. Look at that, it's really popping out that detail of the pencil shavings. Nice. Yeah, look at that pop out. Fantastic. So cool. All right, finish that up. For the leaves, I'm going to use this foliage I got at the craft store, and I really like it because it has these small leaves, so they'll be the nice scale for this tree, right? And I think this was $7 or $8, but with a half-off coupon, you can get it for less. So here I've cut some pieces off, and these will be my foliage on the tree. And like I said at the beginning, I'm going to put some on, but I don't want to put too much. I just want to put enough to give flavor. I don't want to put too much because then you won't see what's under the tree. That's part of the appeal of these trees, right? That you can have a canopy without it covering your game table. All right, so just start adding pieces coming off. I even have one there just coming off the trunk. So just cut some more. Add them in the branches. I tend to do one at the end of the branch and one towards the middle of the branch. So here we go. Here's all finished. And you can see it just really adds to it. I think the leaves look great. I'll just fill in the areas where I glued the hot glue so it'll mix into the tree and you won't see a difference. All right, here's our table, and we have like a forest set up, so really cool. We'll have our adventurers come in, and you can see them under the canopy. You see I hit the tree there, but I didn't knock it over because it has a nice weight, right? That's really sweet. Let's take a closer look. I think these came out really great. I love the texture. That moss looks really cool. The foliage gives, a nice full canopy without covering the game table. So I think this was just a win-win. I hope you guys enjoy these trees. Go forth and craft.
Hey friends, Scotty wanted me to tell you that he hopes you thought the video was a real treat. Get it? Treat. Yeah, I thought it was pretty bad too. All right. Yeah.